I'm Corporal Julie Courchaine. I'm a Media Relations Officer with the Manitoba RCMP. I will do this in in English, and then followed by French, and then I'll take questions. So on November 25th, 2022, at approximately 4:30 p.m., the Portage La Prairie RCMP responded to a hotel within the city following a report that a male who was in a van in the parking lot was acting erratically and possibly consuming drugs. Upon arrival, officers approached the vehicle and attempted to speak with the male. The male spoke briefly with officers before putting his vehicle in reverse and ramming a police vehicle. The male then accelerated the vehicle forward in an apparent effort to strike the responding officers and reversed again into the police vehicle before driving off. Police were able to determine that the van was stolen from the Winnipeg area. A pursuit was initiated by responding officers. Due to the dangerous driving exhibited by the suspect, including driving into oncoming traffic on Highway 1, the pursuit was stopped. This was done to protect the lives of motorists who were being endangered by his reckless driving. Officers, however, continued to conduct extensive patrols of the Portage La Prairie area for the van. At 5:20 p.m., officers were advised of a 911 call from an individual who was living just east of Portage La Prairie. The 911 call had been disconnected, but a male and female voice could be heard before the phone went silent. Officers who were already in the area went to the residence and learned that a 25-year-old female, and her 2-year-old daughter had been kidnapped and their vehicle taken. As the suspect's van was located nearby, officers linked both incidents, and efforts immediately began to locate the suspect and the kidnapped individuals. Information led officers to believe the suspect was heading towards Winnipeg. Every available RCMP and Manitoba First Nation police officer in the area was mobilized to assist with the search, and the Winnipeg Police Service was also notified and were assisting with multiple units. RCMP Air Services and WPS Air 1 were also called to assist. At approximately 6:30 p.m., the abducted female contacted police, indicating that the male suspect had fled the vehicle. She indicated that both her and her 2-year-old daughter were safe and were in the Polo Park area. The victim and the male suspect were not known to each other. It was later determined that she came across the male suspect, who was pretending to be in medical distress by the side of the road. She stopped her vehicle to assist, at which time he got into the vehicle and demanded that she drive him to Winnipeg. Please note that an Amber Alert for this incident was created and was in the process of being sent through the Alert Ready system when the female victim contacted officers. Through the help of the public, the suspect has been identified as Michael Stephen Klimchuk, a 62-year-old male from Winnipeg. He is 5'8", 220 pounds, has long brown hair and blue eyes. He was last seen wearing a camouflage jacket and light-colored pants. He is believed to be in the Winnipeg area. Michael Klimchuk is wanted on the following charges: kidnapping ×2, forcible confinement ×2, abduction of a person under 14, assault with a weapon on a police officer ×3, dangerous operation of a motor vehicle, and possession of stolen property over $5,000. Anyone with information about his location is asked to call their local police of jurisdiction immediately. The Manitoba RCMP would like to thank the Winnipeg Police Service and Manitoba First Nation Police Service, along with the Province of Manitoba's Emergency Measures Organization, for their assistance during this incident. This was an extremely difficult situation, and we would like to acknowledge the victim, who did everything she could to keep herself and her child safe. I'll now just read it in French. Le 25 novembre 2022, vers 16h30, des agents du détachement de la GRC de Portage La Prairie se sont rendus dans un hôtel de la ville après avoir été informés qu'un homme qui se trouvait dans une camionnette dans le stationnement agissait d'une façon erratique et consommait peut-être de la drogue. À leur arrivée sur les lieux, les agents se sont approchés du véhicule et ont tenté de parler à l'homme. L'homme a parlé brièvement avec les agents avant de mettre son véhicule en marche arrière et de frapper un véhicule de police. L'homme a ensuite accéléré vers l'avant dans l'intention de heurter les policiers, Puis, il a fait marche arrière et a frappé de nouveau le véhicule de police avant de prendre la fuite. La police a pu déterminer que la camionnette avait été volée dans la région de Winnipeg. Les agents qui ont répondu à l'appel se sont lancés à sa poursuite. En raison de la conduite dangereuse du suspect qui s'est engagé dans la circulation en sens inverse sur l'autoroute 1, la poursuite a été arrêtée. Les agents ont continué à effectuer de nombreuses patrouilles dans la région de Portage La Prairie à la recherche de la camionnette. À 17h20, les agents ont été informés d'un appel au 911 d'une personne qui vivait juste à l'est de Portage La Prairie. L'appel au 911 a été coupé, mais on pouvait entendre les voix d'un homme et d'une femme avant que la ligne ne devienne silencieuse. Les agents se sont rendus à la résidence et ont appris qu'une femme de 25 ans et sa fille de 2 ans avaient été enlevées et que le véhicule avait été pris. La camionnette du suspect a été localisée à proximité. Des renseignements obtenus ont permis aux agents de supposer que le suspect se dirigeait vers Winnipeg. Tous les agents de la GRC disponibles dans la région ont été mobilisés pour participer aux recherches. Le service de police de Winnipeg a également été avisé et a dépêché plusieurs unités pour prêter main forte. Vers 18h30, la femme enlevée a communiqué avec la police, indiquant que le suspect avait fui le véhicule. Elle a indiqué qu'elle et sa fille de 2 ans étaient en sécurité et se trouvaient dans le secteur de Polo Park. La victime et le suspect ne se connaissaient pas. Grâce à l'aide du public, le suspect a été identifié comme étant Michael Stephen Klimchuk, un homme de 62 ans de Winnipeg. Il mesure 5 pieds 8, pèse 20 livres, a de longs cheveux bruns et les yeux bleus. Il fait l'objet de plusieurs mandats d'arrêt. Toute personne ayant des renseignements sur l'endroit où il se trouve est priée de communiquer immédiatement avec le service de police local. Thank you. So I'll take any questions that you have.
Why are you only releasing on this today?
Pardon me?
Why aren't you releasing, or why did you wait till today to release information about the suspect?
Well, we did put out some information last night. And as you can tell by the timeline, so the call initially came in at 4:30, where the police vehicles were around, the pursuit, and then we were all searching for him. And then at 5:20 is when we got this 911 hang-up. And then, of course, we had to, attend the residence, try and figure out, was this an emergency call? What was this? And then by the time getting all that information, and then we had realized what had occurred, started putting out the Amber Alert, and then just before we were about to put it out, at 6:30, she called in saying that her and her daughter were safe. So at that time, we were trying to figure out who is the suspect, right? Because we still have to put together, is this the same person from the initial one? So last night that went out, we did say it was a serious incident in Portage La Prairie. And then overnight we were able to ascertain who this person was. And again, continuing on with the investigation, now we have the charges as well for his arrest.
Can you just walk us through what happened with when police went to the residence, how they determined that this woman and her daughter had been kidnapped? Because was she driving when she was kidnapped? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, so she was driving in the area, saw this male in distress on the side of the road, pulled over to assist him, at which point he jumps in. She was able to make a call to her husband, as well as that 911 call to us. And so once we were in that area, because again, we were all over the place looking for this van, and that van was located there, and then very nearby was the husband, who was on the line with our 911 operators. So then we were able to decipher, and I guess he had received a call from her, kind of saying she was in this situation. And
so she is kidnapped, and so the sequence of events is that it happens before the police are called to the hotel in Portage, or is that, I just want to make sure?
Yeah, no, the incident at the hotel happened first,
Okay.
which I believe it was 4:30 we were called. He rams police vehicles, takes off, pursuit is initiated, but then it is shut down. And then at that time, we're looking for him. And then at 5:20 is when we got the first a 911 call coming from her phone. And then going to, check the residence, try and figure out what's going on. And that's when we encountered the husband and kind of started putting things together.
So the van and the vehicle she's in are two separate vehicles, I guess.
Yes. So he had left the van, we believe, in that area, and then ended up getting into her vehicle.
So were there two 911 calls, one from her and then one from her
I
husband?
believe so. I mean, we're still trying to go through everything because there was just a lot happening, but that's what my understanding at this point.
What happened when he was in the vehicle? Did she continue driving and he ordered her to drive to a certain place? What happened there?
That's what we believe, right? So she was, I mean, there was no weapons, but obviously intimidation and coercion, and I'm not sure about threats and all that, but yeah, he did demand that she drive him to Winnipeg, and of course she had her young child in the back, so I know the safety of that child was paramount for the mother.
Were they physically hurt?
Not physically.
The patrol or the cruisers that were rammed, can you talk to the extent of their damage? Were they able to be driven to pursue this gentleman, or I'm just wondering, were they damaged beyond driving?
That I'm not sure. I believe they were still able to drive, but I don't. I can confirm that for you after.
How are the mother and the child doing now? Just mentally.
You know what? I can't imagine what she's going through. It had to be a terrifying incident, and I wanted to applaud her for being able to deal with that situation and having an outcome like this. So.
Do you know what that conversation was like between her and her husband?
No, I don't.
Don't know what she said to him?
Don't have all that. I mean, we're still, doing interviews and all that and trying to get all the details.
And is he considered a risk to the public at this point, a danger to the public?
We want to find him, right? Like, the incident that unfolded yesterday, obviously a very scary situation for everyone. I mean, right now, like, we do know that he is from Winnipeg. So I'm thinking he was quite desperate to get out of Portage so that we couldn't locate him. And now that he's in Winnipeg, I mean, we don't believe at this time that there's an imminent threat at all. But, we have a lot of resources on this, trying to find him. And we're hoping that the public here today can help with pointing us in the direction of where he is.
Now that it's in Winnipeg, is Winnipeg police, they're involved in it as well?
Absolutely, yeah, and they were assisting us yesterday as well.
Is there a photo of that on this?
Yes, we will have a photo to hand out to everybody.
Is he known to police?
Yeah, I can tell you that he is known to police.
Can you speak to that at all? Did he file any offenses in the past or anything?
I can't, unfortunately, speak to that. I do believe he did have some warrants.
So not known to police in Winnipeg?
Pardon me?
Like known to police in Winnipeg, or does that extend outside the city as well?
I can only speak to us, so he was known to us.
Can you comment on, like, she sees this person, she thinks is in distress and she stops to help? We always like to think we can help people on the highway, but do you recommend, I'm trying to word this carefully, are you recommending people not do that? Or
You know what, when I heard exactly what happened, it was, I don't know, just a terrible situation, because I would hope if I was in trouble, someone would stop. And it's tough to say what should you do. I think it's just up to your capabilities and what you feel is safe to make that determination, right? It's just a really, really tough situation.
Was he pretending that his vehicle was broken down, or was he pretending he was in medical distress, or both?
We believe that he was in medical distress.
Was he near the vehicle?
I'm not sure how close. I know it was within that area, but I don't know if it was right there or not.
So she drove him to Polo Park and then he left the vehicle. Any sense on what direction or anything like that?
No, I mean, we had officers, like I said, Winnipeg Police Service was assisting us, and we were using different tactics to try and get a better location. So we were nearby, and along with Winnipeg City Police, but yeah, we don't know where he is at this time.
Where the kidnapping happened on the side of the road, was it a highway or is there specifics of where the incident happened?
I can say it was near Highway 1, but I'm not quite sure if it was in the residential area, but we'll.
And where they dropped him off, is that where he was asking to be dropped off, or did they somehow manage to get him out of the vehicle earlier or something like that?
That I'm not sure.
What do you know what his connection is to Portage?
I don't know.
And what are police doing now to look for him, aside from this?
Yes. Obviously, we have a lot of officers that are deployed to work on this, a lot of resources trying to determine where he can be, working with Winnipeg Police Service and, going through his background and trying to go to addresses and talk to people that do know him. So a lot of work being done behind the scenes, of course. All right, so we'll make sure we get that photo out to you guys, and thank you very much.